Good morning, everyone. How are y'all doing today? Today is Monday, and Monday is a day governed by the moon, and the moon is going to be in two spaces today. The moon is going to end her time in Gemini at about 10 a.m. and then go into a short void where it's a very internal energy, and then she will move into Cancer. And Cancer is the constellation that the moon governs. Also, Cancer governs the fourth house. I was talking with a girlfriend of mine yesterday, and we were talking about how every planet, every sign also has a house, and the house is like the stage that's set. So today, the moon is going to be in Cancer, and Cancer is the planet that, like I said, the moon rules. Cancer is also the planet that the moon is also the planet that governs all the water on our earthly body, and the water is the life-giving sustenance. One of the things is I love to watch how everything is connected, right? So the water is, you know, the water is what brings life to everything, and Cancer governs the water and the moon governs that. So it's like the moon is connected to all the plant life, right? And so, you guys have been hearing me talk about the herbal waters that I drink, and how they are also related to various planets. And one of the things that I love to do is study the herbs and the magical principles of them, and how they impact our bodies and our minds, and how they heal us. Because we're in this conversation about our immune systems and how we can learn to heal ourselves. And it's very significant to understand that our environment is filled with bacterias and viruses and things that could likely harm us. But our immune system and our connection to the earth, and our capacity to be able to go out and allow the environment to come into our internal environment heightens our immune system. So when I was, I'm a mother. I have a son who's 13 now, but when he was a baby, one of the things I was always aware of is how he would drag his hands on everything. Like literally, if I wasn't mindful, he just didn't care. Like he'd always have to go into a public restroom, which I hated. And, if I wasn't mindful, he would put his hands on the toilet and the floor and in his mouth and everything. But what I knew, even though I didn't allow it, it made me grossed out, is that was his way to boost his immunity. And when we watch children, before they go to kindergarten, or when they first go to kindergarten, they come home with colds all the time, right? They catch everything. But then sooner or later they outgrow that, because their bodies get stronger and their immune systems get stronger, because the environment on the outside has made an agreement with the environment on the inside, and they become stronger. And so that's a really interesting thing about our environment, and how we need to connect with our environment so that we become one with it. One of the things I love about the moon, right? The moon is the mother. And if you do your astrology and your children's astrology, you can see that sometimes your children have the moon where you have your son. So for instance, my son has a Virgo moon, and I am a Virgo. And so we are very connected through that maternal energy. So one of the things that I understand is that he can feel what's going on with me. It's almost like he's tapped in to me. And so I'm aware that I am impacting him the way water, because his moon is connected to me, his mother. So my feelings, what I'm doing, what I'm thinking about him, all impacts him. He can feel it energetically on the vibratory level. And so I'm mindful of how I think about him. And it's interesting. It's challenging, right? Because he's 13. He's in puberty right now. He's an Aquarius. He's in a very rebellious stage. And I experience frustration. I experience being resistant to who he is right now. And so I'm very mindful of that because I know that he's tapped into my frequency. Why? Because, it has been scientifically proven through research that when they've been researching the brains of women, which the brains of women are connected to our uteruses, which means that anything that grows in our uterus is already electrically, magnetically connected to us, internal and external. So our thinking impacts what we think about our children, impacts them. The cells of our children have been discovered on women who have died, in their 90s, and they've researched their brains, and they're like, oh, what are these cells that belong to someone else? It belongs to their children. So this is an electromagnetic field sending out frequencies. If the cells of our children are in our brains, guess what? When we think about our children, whatever we're thinking about them, they are experiencing on an energetic subconscious level. So it's very important that we understand, like water fuels everything and gives life to everything, the moon, the mother is the moon, governs the water, the subconscious. So whatever is in the mother's subconscious is creating life for everything in her reality. So it's very significant how you think about your children, because what you're thinking about your children will likely become their reality. So that's why it's important for women to, especially mothers, to create a relationship to your subconscious so that it's not just running you. Create a relationship where you can plant thoughts and seeds into your subconscious that will flourish and blossom in ways that are aligned with what your heart desires. Motherhood in this country, I find it to be very rigorous because it's not communal in nature. And motherhood is something that, we often need to do together. We need other women. Like, I know that I learn the most about being a mother from other women who are mothers. Like when I was first pregnant and had my child, my best friend, who already had 2 children, like just talking to her about things would help me. And she'd say, yeah, Monique, you have a child with Down syndrome, but the thing you're talking about now isn't specific to Down syndrome. That's just specific to any child at all. And that would soothe me. But she was a mother already, so she sort of led the way in that. And, when I first brought my son home from the hospital, my girlfriends, even though my son's father was there, we were together, we were in a relationship, but it was the mothers that came to help me and nurture me along and teach me how to bathe my son. And I didn't have a mother at the time. My mother had died already, so my girlfriends came and helped me out. So mothering is the core of our culture, whether we acknowledge it or not. It is the most significant job on the planet. It is the most powerful position on the planet. Like there's that saying that says, the hand that rocks the cradle is the hand that rules the future. So it's important for us to understand that. And one of the ways to understand that is to look at nature, look at what animals do. But then, looking at the mother of all things is water. Water is the mother of all things, and the moon pulls the water on the planet. When the moon pulls the water on the planet, it pulls the water that's in your body. You are 70 to 90% water. And what does that do? It regulates your hormones. It puts you on a clock with the moon that has you ovulate every 28, ovulate every 28 days and then bleed 2 weeks or several days after that, whatever the system is. But all of that is connected to the cycles of the moon, which create motherhood, which are connected to water, which is our internal reality and how we're feeling. Cancer governs our internal realities, our early childhood foundations. So the environment that you are born into creates the foundation of who you are. And that is the patterning from 0 to 7 in your life. So what your children feed upon energetically from 0 to 7 is really what they will totally begin to become. What you fed on from 0 to 7, it formulated who you are today. And all of that is mostly informed and ruled by the moon. The moon in Cancer, the water on the planet, which generates everything. And it's just, it's all a very miraculous, connected experience that is ultimately anchored in the womb of a woman. We are just the most magical creatures and beings. Okay, so this is a great book. This is called The Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs. One of the herbs for the moon is mugwort. Mugwort helps you connect to your psychic abilities. It's a grounding energy. As it connects to your psychic abilities, it helps you tap in with how you feel, your subconscious energy. Another oil that is used, or herb, is myrrh. That is also an energy that helps you ground into your earth experience. It's an energy that helps you heighten your consciousness, helps you tap into other realms and realities. And there's so many ways that we can connect ourselves to the energies of the moon and the earth. And I use crystals. This is my Dendrite diamond crystal. I love it. I use herbs. I use herbal waters. I use meditation and breathing practices. I have to say that my spiritual practice has always been the center and foundation of my life. And I have found that it has given me the greatest peace to live my life, understanding that everything is connected, and that the greatest connective force that we have, honestly, is on Earth, is the moon, because it governs all the water. And the water is the mother of all things. And as women, we carry that essence and energy. And so today, as the moon is the governing day for the Monday, and the moon will be in Cancer today, spend some time nurturing yourself. I know if we're in our homes, and if we have children, we're parenting today. Pray for them, pray for your children, bless them privately, because they feel your thoughts, they feel all your energy. So just bless them. I'm very mindful. My son is walking around the house often, usually grunting, and I don't want to, and I just am like, in my mind, I love you. Thank you. Thank you for being my teacher. Thank you for blessing me. And then sometimes I'm like, I can't stand it. But mostly I'm aware of how much I love him, how grateful I am, how his life has changed my life, and how I learn so much from this child all the time. And that really his presence here has saved me. And time again, it's saved me from self-centeredness and selfishness and gluttony and, being over the top all the time. He's just saved me and grounded me. So pay attention to your relationship with your children, how they teach you, how you learn from them, what you learn from them, and then how you can pattern for them, because that's what we're doing. We're patterning for them, happiness and success and joy and love and connections and all that sort of stuff. The Venus retrograde class is ready to register for. So if you'd like the link to that, you can send me a private message and I will send it to you. Have a wonderful Monday. Peace and blessings. I'm the Moon Mama. I'll be with you guys again tomorrow. Bye-bye.